Mega Random. Well, this is my first time playing Mega Random. We don't know what we get.
Хөлөгтөн жарчлам.
Жарлаг, дасуу, хөдөж байна уу? Хүлээж байна уу?
Альгинч. Дасуу. Хатарч байна уу? Морилсуу. Дасуу. Жарлаг болгосон буюу тэгсүү. Бидэн. Жарлыг дасуу. 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 Уугаларан бэлэн, уугаларан. Уугаларнаа.
Энэ руу байна.
Жарлыг болгосон буюу дасуу. Хөлөгтөн жарчлам. Дасуу. Дасуу. Бидэн хатарч байна уу? Уугаларан хүлээж буй бүлгөө альгинч. Хөлөгтөн хатарч байна уу? Жарлыг болгосон буюу Утга! Бэлэн дасуу. Альгинч дасуу. Дасуу. Жарлыг болгосон буюу морьсуу. Жарчнам. Аюуллаа! Жарчнам. Альгинч хатарч байна уу? Дасуу. Бидэн. Дасуу. Хөлөгтөн. Заргийг дасуу. Дасуу. Хөлөгтөн. Уугаларан хүлээж буй бүлгөө дасуу. Бидэн. Альгинч. Тэгсүү.
Юугаа атах бэ?
Жарлыг болгосон буюу дасуу. Дасуу. Бэлэн хатарч байна уу? Альгинч.
Санар.
Санар. Жарлыг болгосон буюу хөлөгтөн.
Юу? Бэлэн.
Хөлөгтөн. Жарчнам. Дасуу. Бэлэн тэгсүү. Морьсуу. Дасуу. Жарлыг болгосон буюу Жарлаг болгосон буюу. За. Тэксу жарлагийг юу хэрэгтэй буюу. Бүдэгтэн бэлэн. Жарлагийг дагсуу. Уугаар бэлэн амар байна.
Жарлаг бодох гэж
Ажил бэлэн. Танд юу хэрэгтэй буюу.
би энд байна. Гişүү тэмгэж байна.
Жарлаг буулгах гэж байна. Юм хэмээн жарлаг буулгах. Жарлагийг дагаж байна. Адвенч энд байна. Амар байна уу? Бүдэгтэн бэлэн. Я. Бутхаа.
Цугаар бэл.
Ажил бэлэн. Юм хэмээн жарлаг буулгах тогтхон уу?
Ажил бэлэн.
Хэрэгтэй буюу.
Санарт. Алхах цаг боллоо. Гişүү тэмгэж буй. Ажил хүлээж байж тэгсэн. Анда оруулга. Жарлаг анда оруулга. Би гişүү авчихсан.
Болохгүй. Намдгаа нар. Адвенч энд байна. Би тагсуу. Адвенч энд байна. За.
Бүгд жарлаг санардад хон.
Хөдөлгөөе. Би яарч чадсан.
Бүгд зарлиг сонирдод хун. Би няц хорхууд надад угаа мөр. Юм хэмээн жарлаг болгохгүй. Юу хийх вэ? Барь турхууд бүдэгтэн бид жарлиг ёсоор болгосон.
Ажил юу хийх вэ? Ажил хүлээж байна. Би
Мөн бэлэн.
бэлэн. Юу хийх вэ?
Элүү жарлиг дайсуу. Удаа. За. Би тагсуу. Юм хэмээн жарлаг болгохгүй бой.
Нартан жарлаг өсөө самлгаа. Жарлыг торхгүй нортоод бэлэн байна. Амраа нөө.
Бэлэн.
Нартмослаа. Жарлыг зөрчил өгөө дагсуу.
Сайхан торхгүй жарлыг хүлээж байна.
Эдүгээ зарлиг хүлээ юу?
Нарт дорход жарлаг хүлээнам. Менүү жарлыг дагсуу. Удааралт.
Адвенч жаа тэгсүү. Түүнийг хийнэм.
Чимээ менүү жарлыг дагсуу. Удаа.
Бүдэгтэн бэлэн. Жаа тэгсүү. Аль хийж байна?
Танд юу хэрэгтэй вэ?
Мосхорсуу. Жарлыг дорхгүй.
Юм хэмээн
Бүгд жарлыг зөрчил
давхиж мөр.
торхгүй да.
За. Бүдэгтэн бэлэн. Өтөрхөдсөө.
Амар байна уу? Би жарлыг энд байна. Зөвхөн хөдөлгөөе бэлэн. Ажил хүлээ бэлэн.
Жарлиг ирээд үгүй. Хаа.
Торхгүй чимээгүй. Амгт хурахгүй да. Намдуга морил. Би жирлэг ясаар болгосоо. Намдуг
Адгинч дотхон уу. Мусаагүй.
намдуга морил. Хурахгүй минут зэрэг дагсуу. Удар.
Адгинч дахиж мөрдөө. Аюу мусууга.
Богд жирлэг ясаар болгосоо. Хурахгүй да. Жирлэгийг дагсуу.
Суга санардаг хуу.
Манай жирлэг буудалгаа.
Би энд байд санарт даруй хөдөлсөн.
Амар байна уу.
Жарлаг бол замд гацсан. Санарт замд гацсан.
Санардаг хон.
Мана яг болдог яг гэмгүй. Хөдөж. Урахгүй үлдэрмэс. Юм бол хэнүүдэ. Хөдөгтөн өтөр хөдсөн. Яг гэрээс хуу ханшгам.
Анцгой
Агент бэлэн. Урахгүй бэл.
хурахгүй бит
Би. Удаарлаг цаг болдгоо. Урахгүй надад хүн. Болдгоо зэрэг хүлээ юу.
бит цугаа даруй хон.
Юм их ханд юм хэрэггүй. Агент бэлэн.
Ажид бит
Уга. Жаргар болсон.
Дагж байна.
Урахгүй зэрэг оцсон. Мана хөдөж.
жарлаг буу жарлгийг идүүгээ жарлаг хүлээе.
Санарда. Арбач бидэг
Жирлэгээр болсон. Ядах юм.
бэлдээ. Оцсон. Би бидэг жаргалыг харж байна. Урахгүй бэлдээ. Өдөрмөл. Эдүгэ харж байна. Дайсыг харж байна. Онсумаа.
Санар жарлаг буулгах гэж байна уу? Би зүтгэхэд байна уу? Ажил хүлээж байна уу? Манай хавж байна уу?
Таны жирлэг.
Амар байна уу? Бишүү гэж боё.
Жарлаг буулгах гэж байна уу?
Ордоо!
Цаг
Мартаа бид болсон.
Орхуда! Өдгөн
ажилд билээ.
Хаатай
байна уу?
Богд жарлыг ёсоор болгосон. Жарлыг
Би
Сургууль зарим хүлээн. Амх сургуудаа энд юм цугаар бэлдээ. Сургуудаа заримыг дагсуу. Сургууль ажилд амар.
Цугаар гэлт. Амар байна уу?
Юу?
Ажил хүе бэлэн.
Чимээгүй. Зарим буу заримыг дагсуу.
Танд юу хэрэгтэй вэ? Идүүгээ жарлаг хүлээе.
Энд юм ажилд бэлэн. Өгд зарим сонор минуу зарилгийг дагс.
Бэл.
Сургууль анхаарах уу?
Жарлага хүлээе.
Ёсоор суу. Сургууль амх сургууль намдугаа мөр. Асууя мэдээ зарим юм фэнүүдэ.
Жарлаг буулгах уу?
Баата. Чимээгүй. Зарилэг буулгах. Сургууль. Түүний үдчихсэн. Сургууль намдугаа. Юм хийх бол би жинхэнээр бодогсоо. Хатгал хоёртор бодож. Яагсуу анзаарахгүй. Хоёртор буда. Гэргэн. Бидний
Бэ тушаад тушаадыг анхаардаг хүнд заамдгаа мааста.
Тушуутай бүр явж байвгүй. Таны тушаа намайг хааш явуу. Тушаалаар хөдлөмгүй. Би бодвол хаа.
Цугаараа анх таны тушаалаар болсон. Одоодч дуусах.
Зүйтэй. Энд ажил хэрэг таны тушаалыг
Зүсээ. Энд ажил хэрэгтэй.
ажиллах цаг багтаа. Хоцох.
Ирчүүдээ. Би
Би түүхэн үйл бүтээдэг.
Ажил буяа шийдэх үү?
Юун тушаа? Таны тушаалыг ойлгосон. Ажил хөөе бэлэн. Зүйтэй. Энд ажил хэрэгтэй буй. Гүйцэтгэсэн. Юу хийж эцдэх буй.
тушаад ясаад хэнийг харах уу буй?
Юу хийж эзлэх буй? Надуур ажил өгнө буй за.
Энийг харахгүй буй.
Эрчүүдэ. Бэл.
Мориндо. Хай. Таны тушаалыг хүлээн. Дахиж байна уу?
Ажил хөөе. Би замдаа явж байггүй. Би танд барьж өгсөн.
Танд тодорхой цаг билээ.
Ажиллах таны тушаалаар болсон.
Энийг харахгүй буй.
Би түүний болтгүй бариад өгсөн.
Тушаад хүлээхэд бэлэн. Чимээгүй. Тушаал сонсогдохгүй.
Харахгүй бэлэн баа мүү.
Туршуултаа би явж байна уу?
Хурдуугүй дагмуу.
Таны тушаалыг тушаалаар тавьгүй.
Баатад үтэрмэл явсоо.
Эрчүүд тань жан
Одод үтэр гүйцэтгэв.
шинэ тушаалыг бэлэн ба.
Тушаад хүлээхэд бэлэн. Ном бэлэн хийж.
Намайг хааш үүрэг мориндо.
Тушаал өгч гэж
Ажлах
бүгд хөдөд. Тул дайчдаа би тушаалыг өгд өгөй дагж байна. Руу хармаас байна.
Тайсон ядар харлаа.
Би хатайсан ясуу.
уугалардаа бид хөдлөх уугалардаа ажилдаа бид
Харуулж байна уу?
элчүүдэ тушаа би үнийг шалган хийсүү ховдох цаг иржээ ажилдаа тушаа дэгүй байдаг
Ирчүүдээ зарихтай худалдах цаг. Марта ан оргас бэлэн.
ажил хууя бэлэн би тийш явахгүй
Энэ барилга
одоо үнийг барьсан таны хүслийг ёслон биелүүлсүү
цугаа анхааралтай байна.
биднийг харуул байна үнийг барьсан
Удахгүй тушаад болгосон.
Шаасыг сонсох бай. Хар хүчний
Ажил бодлоо.
ажил хууя бэл хөдлөх цаг боллоо
Тушаал болгох цаг болбой.
ирчүүдээ бид
Нааша харахгүй.
зүйтэй
Бүгд сонс.
хөдөл туулах зам бүр бүгд хөдлөх цаг боллугаа би түүнийг удлгүй бариад дууссан
Зүйтэй. Гин бодчих.
элчүүд миний үгээр явахгүй
Хаашаа харах.
элчүүдээ би уугалардаа таны тушаалыг өгдөггүй даггүй
ирчүүдээ бид хичээл.
юу хийж идэх бой
Миний зам саа.
бата
Юу хийж чадахгүй?
та юу гэмээр тушаа уугалаар таны тушаалыг
Натур ажил турган байна. Цугаа таны хүслийг ёсчлон биелүүлсэн.
Душаал хүлээ.
ажил хууя бэлэн
Баатар заамт хүл.
тушаал одоо бүгд хамтдаа алхах
Ирчүүдээ бид
ажиллах
Тушаал болгох хаанаас хүүхэд бүгд сонс.
тодордог цаг.
Намайг хааш явах вэ? Бүгд хүсэх зүйтэй. Хин дайчих вэ?
би
Ирчүүдээ бид анхаарал тул бид явах.
Ажлах цаг боллоо.
Бидний хамж байна уу?
Шин туршаа таны тушаалыг даа.
Ирчүүдээ
Намайг хааш явуулах вэ? Би гүйцэтгэв.
тушаал хийгээд анхаарахгүй. Энийг ажил байгаагүй. Юу хийж эзлэхгүй цугаараа анхудад туудаа болчихсон.
Жимсэм ашаага саргүйцгийг.
Ажил хуяа би бүгд сагүйцдэгсөө. Надад ажил хийж би үнийг шалгав. Намайг хааш явуулах вэ? Бүгд. За, оглаа.
Яв хөөд. Энд ажил хэрэг.
Ажиллах цаг боллоо. Би танд марч өгсөн юу хийж эзлэхгүй. Энд ажил намайг хааш явуул ажиллах цаг бол цугаараа бүгд хөдлөх цаг болтугай. Тушаал болох цаг болвай. Бүгд сонс.
Хайцтай би батад цол хийж.
Надуур ажил би тушаал бол гүйцэтгэсэн. Би түүнийг удахгүй бариад дуусгасан.
Цаг болтоо. Ажил хэрэггүй. Тушаалыг дагахуя бэлэн.
Батад анхаар.
Ажил хуя бэлэн. Танус бүгд хөлдөл.
Юу хийж эзлэхгүй? Ажил хуяа бэлэг.
Ажил бэлдээ. Тушаал ясаар гүйцэтгэв. Алхахад гэмгүй. Бос. Хөдөд. Хар тушаал гэж байна.
Анхаарахгүй. За. Юу хийж эзлэхгүй? Би танд барьж өгсөн.
Уугаад ардаа. Ажилдаа бид нөө.
Шин.
Зүйтэй.
Батад
Эдгээр туш.
Юу хийж эзлэхгүй?
Зүйтэй. Энд ажил хэрэггүй. Би танд барьж өгсөн.
ажил бэлдээ. Тушаал гэж байна.
Тушаасан явах цаг боллоо. Өвчөө та
Миний жад. Надуур
ажил хуя бэлэн.
бүгд сонс. Таны тушаалаа болсон.
Ажиллах цаг боллоо. Ажил хуя бэлэн. Цугаар анхааралтай байна уу? Элчүүдээ бидний тушаалаа.
Ажил хуяа бэлэн. Таны хүслийг ёсчлон биелүүлсэн.
Тушаал өгөх гэж байна уу? Тушаалыг зүйтэй.
Тушаал гэж байна.
Алтмар алтан давшдах уу? Ашуурдаад өг. Чанагс тавхгүй. Юу хийж эзлэх вэ? Танос бүгд хөдөл.
Цугаараа анхааралтай байна уу?
Намлууга ямар тушаалаар явах энэ үү? Миний үүрэг бүлгөө.
Зүйтэй. Хинд ажил уугаад ардаа. Туулах цаг урахгүй. Ажиллах цаг боллоо.
Анхаарахгүй. Тушаал сонс. Хүслэлтэй хороо хөдөл юм уу?
Намайг
Ажиллах цаг тушаалаар явах юм уу?
Тушаал бэлдээ.
Алтмар тушаалаар явах энэ үү? Миний үүрэг бүлгөө. Ашуурдаад өг. Мартер үргэлж бэлэн. Тэнгэр биднийг мартергуудаа ордогдохгүй.
ажиллах цаг боллоо. Би замдаа явах байна. Өгдөгөөд намайг хөдлөх цаг бол.
Анхаар яваарай.
Яваарай. Хийх юмтай боллоо.
Тушаал өгөх гэж байна. Хүмүүс байна мó?
Юу хийж чадахгүй.
Ушаад гэж байгаагүй.
Намайг хааш явуулах вэ? Гүйцэтгэсэн. Би
Ушаад буудгах цаг бол.
уугаад арда бэлэн боллоо.
Онгоц хэмээгүй. Тэр чихээ саад. Бүгд ушаад явуулъя.
Ажиллахгүй юм. Уугаад арда таны тушаалаа болсон. Таны хүслийг ёстой биелүүлсэн.
Чи юу хүссэн бэ?
Одоо үнийг барьсан.
Юу хийж
Цугаараа анхааралтай байна. Таанууд
угаар анхааралтай байна. Зүйтэй.
бүгд сонс.
Аамуу сэтүүгээ үгүй.
Ирчүүдээ би танд хүчин зүтгэсэн.
Ажиллах цаг тушаа гүйцэтгэсэн. Одоо бүгд
Намайг хааш явуулах вэ? Натура ажил өгөн тушаалаа бүгд уудах зам урт. Би танд байна.
зүйтэй. Энд ажил хэрэг уугалаардаа хөдөл.
Натура цугаараа анхааралтай байна. тушаалын бүгдүүг дагуулж. Удаддаг цаг үе. Тушаал үдээ. Танд хүчээ өгсөн.
Тушаалыг тайхууя байдаг. Хөрсөлдөж хаалыг тушаалыг тайхууя байдаг. Тэднийг бүрдүүлэхгүй. Ажиллах цаг боллоо. Энд ажил хэрэгтэй буй. Хөрсөлдөж
Баада бидний цаад
Тэднийг мэдчихгүй. Тэднийг бүрдүүлэхгүй.
Турш тушаалаар хөдөх юм уу?
туршууд
Таны тушаалыг хөдөөгүй.
тог бүлэг минь даруй явбуу.
Ажиллах үе бэлэн.
Шинээр тушаал.
Андад сонс шидээр тушаал ирлээ.
Эгчүүд цогшоо хийж үргэлжид дагуу.
Бидний хурмаар
Хинд ажил хэрэгтэй вэ?
Хөрсөлдөж хороо тушаал хүлээгүй.
Ажиллах цаг боллоо.
Хомс элчүүдээ зөрөгтэй тавшихгүй. Хороо тушаалаар болсоо. Элчүүдээ хөдөл.
Тушаал хүлээх миний үгээд явах туй.
Өслөлтийн хороо. Хүчин зүгсүү. Үргтэй үлдүүлнэ. Элч өдөр гүйцэтгэе. Өслөлтийн хороо тушаал хүлээгүй. Өслөлтийн хороо хөдөлгүй. Өслөлтийн хороо
Мариндоо хийж бармай.
бүгдийг барьжаа. Элчүүдээ тэднийг бутнэр гэсэн.
Би гүйцэтгэсэн. Таны тушаалыг хүлээмгүй.
Тэр дөрөв хэрэглээ.
Та юун тушаахыг хүсв үү?
Ажиллах цаг боллоо. Таны хүслийг ёсчлон биелүүл.
Бүгд сонс. Одоо үнийг барь.
Андад сонсоо.
Зүйтэй. Хинд ажил хэрэглээ. Ажилдаа.
Гэж байна. Айста
Одоодох цаг ирлээ.
Илчүүдээ.
Юу хийж цугаар хаанаас бүгд хөдөл. Зүйтэй. Уугад ард бэлэн бол.
Ажил хуяа бэлэг. Тушаалаар гişүн хүмүүе. Зүйтэй. Хинд ажил хэрэгтэй вэ?
Тушаал бүлээх үед бид
Тушаал буулгах дугаар анхааралтай
эрчүүдээ бид
Их чармаа надуур ажил өгнөн буй за.
ажил хуяа бэлэн.
Надуур ажил өгнөн буй.
Ажиллах цаг боллоо.
Юу хийж эзлэх вэ?
энэ барилга олон зууныг эдэх буй.
Тулдах цаг ирлээ.
Бүгд сонс.
За, оглаа.
Зүйтэй. Энд ажил хэрэгтэй буй.
Би түүнийг өдөргүй бариад өгсөн.
Эрчүүдээ энэ өнгөөр явуулах хуй. Ам ажил хуяа бэлэн.
Би үүнийг шалгахын хий.
Ажил хуяа гэдэг.
Эрчүүдээ бид
Зүйтэй. Хинд ажил хэрэгтэй вэ?
Тушаал
бүгд хөндлөх цаг боллоо. Ажиллах цаг боллоо. Тулдах цаг ирлээ. Би хамбайдаг явсан. Тушаал бүлээх эрчүүдээ зөвхөн тавших дугаар анхааралтай. Тушаал сонсох туй. Тушаал өгөх өгч хадараа туй.
Өдөр цаг болдгоо.
Юу хийж бид сайн 도샤직 완공 딜링 도샤도 그주와무이 도샤선 마트
ついて僕チャンスハードスここだ
앙카르 토일 게이모
아시락착 봤다.
My opponent spawns quite close to the water, so going dock for him is a lot easier. For me, the closest water I would say is the right side. Thankfully, my opponent didn't contest this lake at all. Whereas going to this pawn for me would be really far, and it's close to his base, so he'll get a dock up before I can and secure this whole area before I can. For the second and third oval in Castle, Imperial and whatnot, I think I barely built any and I forgot to, but I would have needed to go out this way, which I think is what I did. So stone wise for Golden Horde on this map, not too favorable, not too bad, I can deal with it, but it's not too good either. My opponent spawns with a deer pack up the front, and it is pretty exposed, I would say. Though he's got fishing, so it's not too bad in terms of food for him. For me, I got a deer pack in my base, pretty lucky. Most of the resources are out in the middle and out on the side. I don't think we even contested this area properly. Like, we both just kind of focused in on this middle area. Trading wise, it's pretty messed up on this mega random map. Like, getting trade going would have been me putting a trading post here and probably going for one of these three. Yeah, this one, that's kind of risky because it's getting a bit close to his base. But yeah, I don't know if trading is viable on this spawn. I don't think neither of us went for it. so that's something to think about. Relic wise, I would say I've got the advantage. All 3 of them spawns closer to me. I don't even remember taking relics, to be honest. Though honestly, I did have the advantage with the relics with these 3 being closer. Base location wise, I'm actually in a pretty decent spot that I can defend my base like this, whereas his one is more open. And if you watch the game, I was able to raid from multiple directions and go around his base as well, whereas he couldn't really just come in and do that to me. Gold wise, pretty good for me. Got 2 gold in the back, and this one is not too far away from my base. His one is pretty decent, even though one's up front, but he's got a big goal at the back. So overall, I would say the map is more favorable for me than it is for him. Sure, he gets the fish, easy dock here with infinite food, but I also secured food on this side for myself. So ultimately, when I lost this game, it was more about how I utilized the map and just straight bad micro and whatnot in Imperial is what lost me in the game. And I will be honest, I think I had way more of a favorable spawn, and by all rights, I should have came out on top given how lucky I got with the way my base spawned the resources. Scouting pattern wise, I had went this way to go see his base and then came back around. My opponent does a different, similar one where he goes to my base and then comes back around. So we kind of looped onto each other. We overlapped a bit because we both chose to explore this side of the map rather than this side. Yeah, so my opponent does get a bit of advantage here where he comes along and he explores the rest of the side of the map. For me, what was I doing? So I came around and then went up around here. So I think I would have overlapped with him, and I think we did meet each other in the middle over here. Heap wise, surprisingly, I won by 1. This is pretty even, I would say. So neither side really had that much of advantage in terms of starting food. I'd like to make a note here that my opponent gathers fish, the shoreline fish for the fishing boats. I believe these gather at like 0.62 or something per second, which is quite a bit slower than deep sea fish. Deep sea fish is like 0.9 with a fishing boat. So I've been told before in my previous games by my opponents to never gather shoreline fish with fishing boats. It's a waste of time, basically. I age up with building carts. I really like this age up. I know the other one, the tour good one, where you get 20% extra health on your tour goods and you get cheaper cost. I know that one's better in the long term. But I really like building carts because the moment you age up, you get 2 free buildings that helps you with your feudal aggression. I don't know how viable this is, but I'm gonna assume it's pretty okay. My opponent goes for a late age up. He opens with Barbican of the Sun. Normally as Chinese, you open up with the other one, the Imperial one. Let me have a look. Yeah, oh, not Imperial Palace. There's the other one. It's like called Imperial something. And basically that one lets you build IOs rather than the Barbican, which doesn't let you build IOs. Otherwise, you have to produce IOs, the Imperial officers, from the town center, which is gonna idle your TC in terms of villagers. I kind of understand his logic. I think this is actually a pretty good placement. It protects his gold, it protects his wood line. And when I was pushing, I had trouble with this Barbican being here. So I would say it was a good move for my opponent to open up with Barbican. I opened with an early stockyard. I don't think I needed to do this, given that I had a berry bush here, I had deer, and I had another berry bush here. This stockyard, I feel like, was a waste of wood at the start. Like, yes, you want to go stockyard or farming, or farm transition later, but this is a bit early. We're just gonna take a look real quick at what like how good stockyards actually are. So if we were to look at Age of Empire 4 production calculator, a stockyard gathers 38.67 per minute. That's with one villager. Okay, let's look at a normal farm. Let's say Ottomans. No upgrades, no nothing, and farm. 36.72. Okay. Now let's take a look at English, because that's the golden standard for farms. You'll be in H2. So farms 44.06 per minute. Pretty good. With 4 villagers in feudal age and no upgrades, I should really have written this down earlier. For ordinary farms, 4 villagers, 36.72 food per minute is equal to 146.88 food per minute. It costs 350 wood for 4 farms and a mill. Okay, Golden Horde. 4 villagers, 38.67 is equal to 154.68 food per minute. The wood, however, is 250 wood for just the stockyard, no mill. English farms, the best farms in the game. 4 times 44.06, 176.24 food per minute with 4 villagers, and 198 wood for 4 farms and 1 mill. So a stockyard from Golden Horde with 4 villagers is cheaper to do. It's cheaper to do than ordinary farms, but it's not as cheap as English. Food gathering wise, it's kind of similar to ordinary farms. Like 154 to 146 is what, like 8 difference? It probably adds up later on. There's probably some implication for that, but I would generally say that this is better than ordinary farms just because of the wood cost. So having a look at Golden Horde stockyards, it beats ordinary farm by 100 wood, and it beats the gathering rate by a bit as well. Of course, it doesn't beat the English farms at all. English farms are still pretty okay. Better gather rate and less wood. So going early stockyards, is it worth? I mean, normally you get that 200 stone upgrade for the food gathering increase, which does bring it up quite a bit, but if you compare it to English farms, what they get is just straight up better in every way. In fact, this is almost like 22? Yeah, 22 food per minute in difference. That's like half a villager, like a 2/3 of a villager gathering food. And we kind of all know how viable going early farms is for English. Sometimes it is viable, sometimes it's not that good either. So English farms being already this good and going early farms as English is already a questionable kind of thing to do. Like, there are plenty of builds that are based around building a patch of like 2-8 farms, right? Like 16 farms and whatnot, getting massive food increase. But it does leave you vulnerable to attack. It does leave you a bit behind. And that's for the best farm in the game. So stockyards being not as good as English farms and then going for it earlier with more wood cost and less food per minute, I think it's hard to say, because if you go for the stockyard upgrade, that 200 stone thing, this food per minute becomes 42.42. That's only 2 less from the English farm. So you're going to be investing an extra 200 stone, I can't write, stone, on top of the wood to get this rate, which is still less than what English does. But either way, it's way better than ordinary farms. So I'm just going to leave this as an open-ended question, whether or not early stockyard is good. My scout runs along the lake on the right, as I am just trying to see if my opponent will open docks on the side, and whether or not I needed to build military ships to defend my dock on the right. In hindsight, I think double docks or even triple would have been good too in this game. And I had a lot of shoreline fish up here, which I could have taken with my stockyard villagers instead of building a stockyard. Horseman comes out. Honestly, I think these guys really should have been at the opponent's base by now. It did take a while. I tried to do some harassment here on the fishing line, but he's already got an archer ship up, which makes this very hard to destroy from land. At this point, I think I just given up completely on trying to deny water from him. He's got 2 docks in here. I can't build a dock myself to contest this. Contesting of land units, I'm just going to get shot by these archer ships. And I think I would have needed to build archers to be able to kill these guys. And I was just more focused on building horses so that I can go harass him. Here you can see the Barbican doing work. Yeah, almost lost a unit there. I think I'm gonna give my opponent a 5 stars on this Barbican placement. It's pretty good. I find some harassment here on his villagers. At this point, I'm just circling around and looking for damage, trying to keep him in his base. Yeah, this Barbican is honestly 5 stars. He builds production buildings out the front under the Barbican. So that means that he can always get a troop in the middle and under the protection of this Barbican. I was trying to find damage on these buildings. I was trying to destroy them so that he can't produce anymore. But he's placed them in a pretty good spot, I gotta say. Finally, I gather a mass of Kashyyyk horses and a few archers. I go for the raid on the right here, given that his Barbican was on the left. I see that he's aging up, so I go for the fight. I pretty much just go for the push. At this point I thought, okay, I've got a bunch of units. He's got units too, but my units counter his, so I go for a bit of a greedy push. Like, destroying this was okay. He did cancel it. I'm not sure how much resources he got back if you destroy, or not, if you like do damage to it. Yeah, so I kept my horses back and just kept trying to shoot the spears with my horses. This dive was a waste. I feel like this dive pretty much shifted the game's balance of power. Diving under like TC and then Barbican with this amount of value of units and then like losing a lot of it. I picked up 9 villager kills, but I don't feel like this was worth the thing to do. I don't feel like this was good. Like, look at how many units I've lost. You know, 9 villager kills, it's good, but losing an army like this, I don't know. Doesn't feel that quite worth. I think I would have rather gathered an army, a bigger one, you know, a much bigger one, rather than just keep going in like this and just getting shot all the way out of his base. Like, I did idle his economy and I did get kills, but like, I don't know. I feel like this is like a bad habit of mine. I keep getting greedy, you know. I just keep getting like, I gather a massive army, I see the opportunity to overwhelm his army, and I go in, and then I get shot by town centers and Barbican. And now my units are down to, well, these are new units, which could have joined these guys earlier on and did a bigger, better push. Maybe even a ram push into this area would have been good too. I don't know if that was worth. Perhaps I could have looped around and find some more damage back here. This village is on the edge of the town center range, so maybe if my units were here, we could have torched this a bit. And I think torching this would have been really good too. It's holding 274 gold. If I had gotten this mill, this gold is gone. Yeah, as you can see, because of that dive I did, our army count's now kinda even. He was able to defend that, and I lost my lead because I just got too greedy. Killing villagers isn't the only thing you can do in this game. I'm not sure why I went back for this dock. You know, I didn't actually know that archers actually can destroy junk chips. I don't know, I just thought they were like rams and they don't take damage from range all that much, but actually they do. They take quite a bit of damage from range units like archers. So I think I should have maybe tried to destroy this and then burn down the dock. Going for the dock just with the horses by itself was kind of silly. A fight breaks out in the middle here. I'm just circling around trying to get my horses on his archers, my archers on the spearmen, and, you know, try to turn the battle around that way. Despite me having upgrades and my opponent having none of it, this fight did not go as clean as I would have liked. So I would say upgrades makes a difference, but more army mass probably does more than upgrades. Upgrading a big army mass, you know, makes even more of a difference. As obvious as that sounds. Sometimes the obvious isn't that obvious until you see it yourself. So here I start to transition into a stockyard farm boom, I would say, if that's what the term is called. I think a better play would have just been to build docks. Docks and get the food from the fishing boats. Because this entire game, my opponent did not take the right lake at all. This was fairly uncontested. I didn't need to waste wood on this until later. At this point in the game of me playing Golden Horde, I didn't know about this yet. I didn't know about this whole stockyard edict, this active stockyards within the influence of the fortified outposts generate gold while being worked. I didn't know about this until like 6, 7, 8 games in of playing Golden Horde. What I also didn't know was that a gur for Golden Horde costs 50 wood. The reason why you see like me building this in a gap isn't because I was slow on the gurs and building them. My logic was that, okay, I think these gurs cost 100 wood. So that means I can build them, well, half as often as I can with normal lumber camps, because those cost 50 wood. So how do you counteract this? I know, I'll build them every 2 lumber camps instead. So instead of building them one by one by one by one, you know, one here, one here, one here, one here, I'll skip like that because I thought these cost 100 wood. And therefore, I will use the same amount of wood if I build them less frequently. This logic makes no sense. These gurs are 50 wood. They are normal. They can, you know, if anything, they can take wood, food, gold. So build them as you would normally. Don't do this stupid ass shit. This is really silly. I think my stockyard placement could have been better. The reason why I placed it like this was because I saw this plus sign on the stockyard, right? And I was like, okay, placing these stockyards must do something when they're placed by the fortified outpost. I have no idea what they do. I haven't even like read what they do, but I think they do something because I saw the plus sign. Now I know you build these separately, like around here, so that you can use this thing, and then you build military around these so that you can use this thing instead. Production speed edict, you know, increase the military building production by 20%. That's what you want to do. Yeah, I'm starting to lose here. My army mass is kind of weak, I would say. Even though I've got upgrades and he's got none, he's just got a much larger mass than I do, so it's just not gonna make that much of a difference having upgrades. What I needed was to mass more of the right units. I didn't really know how to counter this. I know Sukanu's because I play Sushi, so I knew that these guys would just lose to horses as normal. They out DPS archers, but I need archers for spears. I think the solution to whatever this is to build siege, which I don't think I even started building yet, despite being in castle. Yeah, I don't see a single siege workshop here. Once again, playing Golden Horde, I forgot to build Ovus. I built one in my base. And then I build another one. And I'm in castle, I can actually build a third one, but yeah. At this point, I just don't realize the importance of stone yet for Golden Horde. His base, if you look at it, is actually wide open now. Like, this is a lot of, like, places I could have raided quite easily. I even had the horses to do it too. But instead I just focused on defending. I didn't really need to do that. Like, horses are fast. Even in my raid, right, I go here, I go here, I go here, a bunch of places. And then he attacks me like this. I can always retreat my horses back from his base, back to my base, and just hold on. He's got no horses. Oh, he does have, actually, no, he does raid me on the side. Yeah, there he does. He killed a bunch of villagers from me. Yeah, so my opponent's got the right idea here. Attacking on the right with infantry to force my fight. And then using the horses to attack my side of the base. I didn't really have anything to respond to this because I was busy dealing with this. My logic was that if I can clear this mess, I could probably push into his base. And I was just gonna let this go. And, you know, just gather like some spears and units as they're built. But keep moving my army forward into his base. Yeah, my opponent was much faster with the relic gathering than I was. I think I did build, yeah, I did build one, and I built one monastery and I got one relic. But by all rights, the 3 relics that were here earlier, see 1, 2, and there was a third one I believe from the map, 3. Those should have been mine. I should have been way faster with that, but because of his army and the map control he had on here, I couldn't grab them. So I think that's a very good thing that my opponent did. Here I'm just kind of not really knowing if I could go in on this. Could I? I'm not sure. Ultimately, I decided to go in later. I just didn't want to risk losing my troop. But he forces a fight, so I had to go in. I got a bit scared here. Despite having more units than he does, I did get a bit scared and I didn't think I could win. So I just started coming back to my base. He goes for a very nice flank here on my archers and whatnot. Yeah. And my archers weren't exactly shooting the spears properly. I think that's why I lost, because my archers just weren't shooting the spears, focus firing on them. Some AFK units here would have been good if I bought them up. Select all idle military units is pretty important, I would say. It's in the settings somewhere. Let's see, controls, view and remap control, unit selection, select all, where is it? Select all military, that's not it. Select all idle, there it is. Select all idle military units. This is pretty important, I would say. So what you can do is when you're in a fight like this, you can just press that button and then it will select all the military that's standing still like this, and you can just bring it up to the front line. You could just rally your troop like this, but sometimes you kind of forget and you have to re-rally forward and back, and the battle's gonna go back and forth, right? So it's not like rallying. Sometimes what happens is you fight around here, right? Here's your army, here's their army. You rally to here, right? You rally everything to here. And then this front line gets pushed back to like here. But you still have units that's being built coming along and going here. And that can be a bit of a waste of APM to try and manage. It can be a bit of a clusterfuck. Finally the Mangonel comes out. This thing really should have came out much earlier. Something I'm starting to learn is that I am pretty fucking trash at Imperial and late game fighting. When it comes to middle castle, early Imperial, late Imperial, I'm starting to realize that I'm kind of dog shit at it, eh? I'm not as good as I thought I was. Like, I thought I was okay in Imperial, but now I'm starting to realize that when it comes to playing late game, all I do is I try to outscale eco-wise, and then I build a bunch of units, and then I just A-move into my enemy. That's really all I do for late game. It's like my brain just shuts down. Like, dude, micro is pretty important late game. If anything, it's as important as early game, or even more important than early game. You've got way more units to micro with. You've got different types of unit, you know, like there's a whole bunch here of cluster of whatever that you've got to micro, and then you got the siege to micro as well. So if you were to take anything away from this game, don't stop microing just because it's Imperial and you think you can just out-eco your opponent and outmass units and then just A-move into them. More often than not, the games are too even to do that. The army size and your army composition and things like that, it's just way too like even to just A-move into them. Some micro is required late game. That sounds really, really obvious when I say it out loud like that. Like, of course micro is gonna matter the entire game. But yeah, it's my own personal kind of flaw when it comes to playing late game. Like, I stop caring about micro when I just A-move, so don't do what I do. Yeah, I'm starting to move out to the right side, as you can see from the map. I'm moving out towards this side now to secure as much resources as I can. I go for a really risky push here. There's a keep, and I was trying to just burn it down straight up. Oh. And then on top of that, I've got more archers and whatnot than I do have melee units that can torch these things. And I thought I could get away with it. My opponent, of course, responds to this and comes in. I'm just steadily losing units and losing the health bar on these guys. Trying to take down this keep. I'm pretty sure I lost quite a few back here. And then my opponent just comes in while I'm on the keep, so I'm pretty much committed to destroying this keep first. And just taking a lot of archer fire. Like you can see here, I focus in on destroying this keep while my opponent just attacks me from behind, well, from the front, but I'm turned the other way. And oh man, this is really messy. This was such a bad strategic decision to do this. Like, look, I destroyed this. Now what? I just took a whole bunch of damage from these Sukanus shooting my ass. And now my troop is scattered everywhere. I'm getting flanked by cavalry. My army is spread up now. Sure, he's backing off, but look at what I've lost. Look at how little I have now. That was a big throw. Like, okay, I pushed him off the gold, so what? He'll just come back with this troop. And it's not like he's desperate for gold. He's got Imperial officers. Where are they? There's one here collecting, look at that. He's got one gold site back here, he's got one out here. He's got, okay, that's kind of mine. Oh, he's got one here too. He's got plenty of gold to go around. Getting this gold and denying him was just like, what does this actually accomplish? Like, he lost 900 stone from getting a castle destroyed, but that doesn't really mean too much right now. I go in for another push here onto his base. Thankfully, if you look closely, my knights were able to be on his archers. He does do a little bit of a flank with his knights, but these are crossbows, so they do kill knights. Crossbows are better with a tanky front line so they can deal damage for longer, but when it comes to versing that amount of knights, it's not too bad. Like, yeah, it could be better, sure, but it's not the end of the world. Having like a bunch of like 10 crossbows versus like 3, 4, 5 knights, it's not too bad. I managed to push him back, and honestly, I really should have just backed off here. I got greedy. I just want to keep pushing. I don't know what the fuck my problem is. Like, why do I keep doing this? Pushing into a Barbican that's getting upgraded with Springles now. And he's getting a bunch of heals off because of there's like a unique mechanic from Chinese where if you lose a, what do you call it? A special unit, a unique unit, it heals a bunch of people. Yeah, so finally my siege comes out. These should have been out earlier and more of it. This should have been like 3 trebuchets, 1, 2, 3, or even 4. It took ages, and all I did was just lose my army, half of it, and then now I'm pushing. What I should have done was held back my army here, and then just kept pushing with the trebuchets. I didn't need to just go in, fight under the Barbican, and then just take a whole bunch of damage. I really didn't need to do that. And just look at how widespread and open his base is. He didn't build any walls. I don't think he even cared about walls. I had so many opportunities to just grab my horses and just run around in a circle, targeting whatever I can find anywhere. My opponent does a very good job of gathering relics. I believe I gathered 1 and he's gathered 4. So this was a very good thing from him to do. Yeah, now the hand cannons start coming out. To beat them cost effectively, you just need archers or your own hand cannon that's massed bigger than his, really. Yeah, I get pushed back by these hand cannons. I gotta say, these hand cannons, I'm gonna give them 3 stars because I think these won my opponent the game. And so now I do what I usually do, is I just rally everything forward, overqueue, like, look at that, the archers, there's 5 archery ranges and I'm queuing like probably 15 at this point. Actually, that's not too bad. 15 for 5 archery ranges is like 3 per each one, so it's not too bad. And I'm pop capped. I'm pop capped and floating resources, so I guess overqueuing here is not too bad at this stage in the game. So Golden Horde is quite reliant on fortified outpost, and that's something I just recently realized in this game. I think halfway through, well, 37 minutes in, then I realized, okay, fortified outpost probably helps, but you have to upgrade them, bro. You have to upgrade them with like one of these things at least to get the benefit. In fact, if you look at the golden tent, I didn't even get like turn on defensive aura. This would have really helped. Like, this was really, really important. And then on top of that, I wasted the stone on building Karash. I didn't know how to spend my stone. Like, I didn't read properly that these things were really expensive. Like, look at this, 800 stone, 600 stone, and I needed to save for them. And I'm wasting it on building Karashes, which, you know, can be built for just 100. Like, yeah, 100 food. That's such a waste of stone. Like, what is this? Core goods would have been better. A fight breaks out here, and I try to go for a flank on the hand cannons. This was a decent flank, I would say. It's not too bad. Got some damage in, but ultimately lost most of my horses. And my front line wasn't, you know, breaking through into this mass of Handcannoneers. So now the game becomes killing this mass of Handcannoneers, which I can't. You see this massive ranged units? 40 Handcannoneers, 10 Suganus, and Palace Guards? You know what would be very, very nice? Let me show you. Springles, mangonels, maybe cannons. But honestly, Springle mangonels, mostly mangonels, would have dealt very well with this. Yeah, I just got tunnel vision into building archers. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm just building as many archers and my own Handcannoneers as I can to try target whatever this is. When this... Ooh. Okay, that wasn't that much of a good hit. Let's see again. Okay, I need to aim the hand cannons. What am I doing with that mangonel? And now the game becomes how fast can I produce units and spam into the enemy, which I have said this to myself several games before. Don't do this. Gather your troop into an area, gather them to a mass, and then go in. you only do this thing where you just pour unit into the front line if you have a front line. If you have a front line and it's fighting, then yeah, you can pour units to reinforce. But if you have no front line, as you can see here, if you don't really have like control of like the fight, then pouring units is risky. Like, yeah, sure, I managed to push him back, but like, that's just a bait. Now he just pulls back and then comes in and cleans up whatever mess I made. My man knows I've been reaching his Handcannoneers. This fight was taking way too far. Should have been back here. And so the fight just keeps going like this. He just stands there with his massive hand cannons while I pour troop into him and just keep dying. And my resources start to run low. Yep, I do it again. Pour troop in. Didn't gather enough mass. Got them all killed by the Death Ball Handcannoneers. And yeah, eventually I get overwhelmed. And I'm out of resources now, so it's pretty much GG. So what can we learn from today's game? Consider building hand cannons. They are expensive for a reason. You don't always have to just build counter units to what your opponent's doing. Sometimes straight up just building a unit that doesn't counter anything in particular but just straight up deals damage is not bad, especially if you have a death ball of it. Micro your late game battles. This is something that is quite specific to me. Just because you have overwhelming resources and a bunch of units doesn't mean you can just overwhelm them with A-moving. If anything, late game battles are probably way more micro intensive than early skirmishes in the early to mid game like feudal or early castle. You've got 100 or maybe 50 to 100 units to micro, and you will get much more value out of those units if you actually micro them and make them do, well, attack who they're supposed to attack. It is a bit of a mindset shift from thinking that, oh, early game I don't have as much resources, so I should micro my battles and make sure I win my small skirmishes, right? And then late game I have so much resources I can't just overwhelm my enemy with my superior number. That's probably something I should stop thinking, and I should change my mindset to that micro in late game is more important than micro in early game. Like, yeah, micro early game, if you win some fights, you probably win the whole game. But if it goes to late game, micro is still required. You can't just ditch it. You can't just leave it alone. And that's it. See you in the next one.